All right, today we're going to do something cool. We're cracking open the digital toolbox to take a look at a really sophisticated password recovery tool. We're going to see exactly how these modern-day digital lockpicks actually work.
We've all been there, right? That sinking feeling in your stomach when you realize you're locked out of your own digital life. It feels like a door just slammed shut on your most important files. But what if there was a tool that could actually craft the key for you?
And that's exactly what we're diving into. But let's be super clear. This isn't about breaking into someone else's stuff. This is all about understanding the technology behind ethical hacking, for education, and, for legally getting your own data back. So first things first, let's talk about the problem this tool was even built to solve. A problem that I'm guessing is way too familiar for a lot of us. Just picture it. You've got this one single compressed zip file, and inside are your critical work documents, maybe precious family photos, or a vital backup of your entire system. And the password? Poof. It's just gone from your memory. The file is totally yours, but it's completely, frustratingly, inaccessible. So how in the world does a tool even begin to tackle a locked file like that? Let's get into the core technique it uses to basically hunt for that lost password. The main method here is something called a dictionary attack. And the idea is actually deceptively simple. Instead of just guessing randomly, the program uses a massive list of words, literally a dictionary, and it tries every single one systematically until it hits a match. It's kind of like having a giant keyring with millions of keys and just trying every single one on the lock. And for you, the user, the whole process is surprisingly simple. You just upload your locked zip file, you pick a password list or dictionary to use, you hit launch, and then you can actually sit back and watch the progress in real time as the tool just gets to work. But okay, here is where it gets really clever. The tool doesn't just try the words from the list. It starts to think like a person. It applies these intelligent rules, testing for all the common tricks we use to make passwords. So it'll try password with a capital P, then it'll tack on numbers like 1, 2, 3, or it'll even substitute characters, turning it into P at SWAD. These automated little tweaks just dramatically increase the chances of finding the right combination.
So, we've seen what the tool does, but how is it actually built? What's the engine humming under the hood? Let's take a quick peek at the anatomy of this application.
You can think of any web app like an iceberg. The backend is that huge part under the water. That's the engine room. In this case, it's built with Python, which is a super powerful language for this kind of data processing. It handles all the heavy lifting of testing thousands of passwords a second. Then, the front end is what you see, the tip of the iceberg, and that's built with JavaScript and Three.js, which is what makes that cool interactive dashboard you're looking at. So when you blend all that power and design, what do you get? Well, you get real-time monitoring of the whole process, a really sleek animated interface, and a super efficient engine for handling files, all wrapped up in a design that works perfectly on any device you've got. Now, a tool this powerful obviously brings up a pretty critical question. Why does it even exist? Its purpose has to be crystal clear, and really, it all comes down to this idea of hacking for good. Primarily, it's for education. It's used in cybersecurity classes to literally show students how easily weak passwords can be broken. It's a training tool for future ethical hackers, and honestly, it's a fantastic case study for computer science students who are learning to build complex, real-world apps. And it's not just for the classroom. It has some totally legitimate practical uses. The most obvious one is getting your own files back. But companies also use tools just like this to test their own security, to see if their employees are using weak, easily guessable passwords. And this is a really crucial point. How does the tool enforce ethical use? Well, it has built-in guardrails. For example, by default, it just stops after 100,000 attempts. Now, that's enough to find a lot of common passwords, but it prevents the tool from being used for these massive, malicious attacks. It's designed for demonstration, not for destruction. So what about your data? You're uploading a potentially sensitive file, right? Privacy is built right in. Any file you upload to the system is automatically and permanently wiped clean after 1 hour. This makes sure your data stays your own and isn't just left sitting on some server. So, after looking inside this tool, after seeing how it works, we have to ask, what does all this mean for you? What's the big takeaway for your own digital security? It really all just boils down to this one question. When you see how systematically a dictionary attack works, how it tries common words, adds on numbers, and swaps out characters, it really forces you to think, is my password on one of those lists? Because at the end of the day, a password isn't just some word you have to remember. It's a lock. And as we've just seen, the keys to break those locks are getting more and more sophisticated every single day. The real question isn't just about how strong your password is today, it's about how strong it's going to need to be tomorrow.